What's up? So Charles Barkley was right when he said that SGA is the face of the NBA. He said Jokic and he said Giannis. He said Anthony Edwards ain't. He said ESPN needs to stop the propaganda and the cap. That's a shout out to Stephen A. Smith and to Kendrick Perkins, who he's going to be working with. What I like about Barkley, he don't mince words. He's speaking facts. Ant is exciting. You know, he has aura, charisma, but that's also at your local strip club. And Bob, that don't necessarily mean that you should be a superstar, but that ain't stopped the music industry because of Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion, etc. I can go on about that. It's no different tangent. You see it when you overhype something, you make it like more than what it is. He's a very good player, but he got a lot to learn. He got to utilize his teammates. He got to learn not to be so easily frustrated and take responsibility. He don't want to be the main guy in the league, but he want to be the main guy in the league. He want to say that the old guards didn't have no skill set. They would have figured some of this out. Now, I'm looking across state lines. You're more talented than Tyrese Halliburton, but Halliburton is playing a complete game that you don't have come close to. But Halliburton ain't nowhere close to being one of the best players, but you got the hype behind you. See, hype goes a long way, and charisma and what you got. But he ain't in the argument with those guys. Giannis and Jokic are made men. They won chips. SGA got an MVP. And they all three got MVPs. SGA on his way to a title. You're not in that conversation. They're so desperate to make someone who come close. You know, this is the narrative that they try to sell all the time. They don't want to admit that the best players are non-American players. And that's the hardest thing because they're so desperate. It didn't work with Jason Tatum because, A, he is kind of a dull cat. Got a lot of talent, and I like the cat, and I'm wishing him the road to recovery. But he's not really charismatic. You know, he doesn't really hit like that. He just happens to play for a team that is polarizing, but he's not polarizing. Jaylen Brown, his teammate, is polarizing, but Jaylen doesn't have Tatum's vibe as far as crossover for a lot of different reasons. You know, it's not always based on your skill set. So if you mix those two, you'd have, like I said before, one of the not only greatest Celtics ever, probably one of the 12, 15 greatest players ever, because if you put all that together, but you can't. So, and Edwards comes along, got this rawness and this vibe. They're hoping that he cashes in. They couldn't do it with Zion Williamson, so they're hoping they can't do it with John Morant. So maybe Ant is the one. And maybe, you know, and Tatum can't seem to be one, and they won't touch Jaylen Brown. But you can't manufacture. This ain't like a pop singer, okay?